go. Hello and welcome. Kerry here from Healing Humanity, Power of a Proper Human Diet, along with Adam from Carnivore Today, Ashley, Carnivore Brothers, Lynn, Midlife Carnivore, Renee, Eating Meat to Walk, and Todd at the Carnivore Cure. How's everyone doing tonight?
Great.
Good.
Fantastic. Happy to be here.
We are here live with our Thursday night live Carnivore Q&A.
Doing great.
We're here to answer any questions you might have. We're going to be giving away a bunch of fun prizes, and maybe we'll start out there while people are still jumping on here. We got some big prizes. We got one big prize. We're going to be giving away this $225 beef bundle from Independence Arc Farms.
Woo!
There is a link in the description below. If you sign up for our email newsletter, you will qualify. And the last call of this month in January, we do this call every Thursday. We're going to randomly draw someone from the newsletter, and it could be you if you sign up. It's $225. It's Independence Arc Farms. And if you don't win and you're looking for a regenerative farm, American farm, a family-run farm in the United States that are doing it right, this is a really good farm, Independence Arc, and the link is in the description below. We're going to be giving away several prizes tonight, and here's how you win. It's very simple. It looks like it's complicated here, but it's not. You simply subscribe to each of the wonderful individuals that are on this call tonight. I have a link to each of their YouTube pages in the description below. It takes like 2 seconds. And then we ask you to fire up the chat. We want chat. We want questions, comments, whatever you can do, but you have to use a hashtag. And the first hashtag tonight will be hashtag ribeye. And if you post it with your question, you're going to get good karma and you're more likely to win the prize that we're going to give away. So please do that. And you can claim your prize at healinghumanity.movie/giveaway. We'll repeat that for you a little bit later. But the first prize is hashtag ribeye, and it is a Healing Humanity t-shirt. And one quick note, as we have a whole bunch of people jumping on here, this is if you're in the lower 48. If you are outside of the lower 48, we're going to send you a prize that's valued higher than this 30-day membership to healinghumanity.life. It's ridiculous. It's like $75 or something to ship the shirts out if you're outside of the United States. So hashtag ribeye with your comment or with your question. And we have this wonderful group of individuals tonight. We're going to fire through and try to answer as many questions as we possibly can. The last thing I'll say before we get to some of the questions is we also have our membership site, healinghumanity.life, and we have a promo code, a special offer in the description below. And it is going crazy over at the membership site. Adam, Lynn, the whole team, they've been doing an incredible job over there. We had Dr. Sean Baker on as our expert last night. And we've got a lot of really awesome experts coming on. We do several Zoom calls per week, including our Breaking Addictions call, which we do several per week. Huge shout out to Lynn and Constance for running those calls. We do an Inspire Together call. We have Carnivore Q&A on Tuesday. We have Doctor Experts on Wednesdays. Sometimes we'll do a Healing Humanity Heroes call. So lots of courses and community, and it's really helpful, especially I know there's a lot of new carnivores that are just getting started. It's one of my biggest pieces of advice for people is you got to have community. You got to surround yourself by people that are succeeding and that are going to be supportive to you. So if you're interested in that, there is a special promo code below. Let's see what questions we have here. All right, we got a bunch of questions coming in already. Praying Extraordinary Prayers has a question. We'll try to kind of rapid fire the questions once we get going here so that we can answer as many as possible. Can anyone here weigh in on using pure glycine powder? It was mentioned in a carnivore recipe. I saw this week for use for sweetening whipped heavy cream. I researched it and it has numerous health benefits. I am not familiar with this one. I don't know if anyone else is.
It's an amino acid. I was thinking maybe Todd might.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a kind of one of the only somewhat approved sweeteners on the carnivore diet. It's an amino acid that people use. I personally don't use it because I don't like keeping the sweet palate alive at all. So I enjoy keeping sweet out of my cravings period. But if you are going to use an artificial or sweetener substitute, that is a good one too. But I don't know. We recommend to use it as a bridge to get off your sweeteners. Like it's a good bridge to get onto carnivore and get away from it if you can. For sure.
Good stuff. Thank you, Todd. We've got some questions coming in here. If you just use the hashtag, that works as well, but shoot us your questions. We love answering the questions. So the best question will win a ribeye if the next time I see you. So I'll owe you a ribeye if you come to one of our meetups or something like that. So give us some good questions. Let's see. The next question we have is from Susan Lydia. Will you ever visit or interview on the East Coast? Well, have we been on the East Coast yet, Adam?
Yeah. Mimi in Charleston, South Carolina. We did Rebecca Heichman in North Carolina, and Dr. Seafried in Boston.
Right. I remembered Seafried. I think we've been out there, right? Adam and I have completed 45 interviews for the documentary. We're on the home stretch. So we have been out to the East Coast.
We are talking about heading out to New York sometime this year.
Yeah.
So nothing has been solidified, but
if y'all are following the meetup events on our healinghumanity.movie page, we will post anything we confirm on that website. So once it's confirmed, once dates are scheduled. So if y'all want to do a meetup with us at the Healing Humanity event, we're loving that. And so there have been several people who have reached out about the New Jersey, Pennsylvania areas, and I'm sure we will be figuring out a date at some point in the near future. And once we have that locked in a little bit, we'll get it posted.
Absolutely. And huge shout out to Ashley for arranging all of these. One other one I wanted to mention real quick. I'll just share my screen here. Huge meetup coming up. Huge shout out to Dr. Robert Kiltz. Dr. Kiltz he's crazy. He's incredible. He's crazy. He's been such an amazing supporter of Healing Humanity. He's come out to the UK, Arizona, Chicago, all of our meetups. And we didn't ask him to do this. So I'm so thankful that he did. He decided to do a big meetup in Tampa in February 8th in Tampa, Texas Day, Brazil. And he's donating the proceeds from this to the documentary, which is just absolutely incredible of him. If you want to learn more, that is at kiltzmeetup.com. And Dr. Kiltz will be joining several of us on my channel on Saturday night, 7:20 p.m. Central Standard Time. But if you're interested at all or even slightly, my biggest encouragement for you would be to go to kiltzmeetup.com right away and secure some tickets, because I'm pretty sure it's going to sell out. And oftentimes people wait till the end, and it's happened for a few of these where they waited a little bit too long. The one we just did in Chicago, unfortunately, we ran out of space at as well. So if you're interested, consider doing that sooner rather than later. Caroline, the healing community has totally been helpful. Highly recommend it. Thanks, Kerry, for putting that together. Well, to give full credit where due, I didn't put it together. Shout out Adam, shout out Lynn, who have spent thousands of hours working on the membership site, along with our other volunteers. You guys are incredible. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Carolyn, for the nice comment, though. Really appreciate that. We just got off of our Inspire Together healinghumanity.life call, and there were some really encouraging testimonies from individuals saying similar, that they're finding inspiration and healing, and they're sticking to carnivore, and the community is helping them. So it's wonderful to hear.
Yep. If you sign up now, the replay will be available probably in about 5 minutes.
There we go. Ladybug has a question. I have my fasting insulin checked, and it is 10.6. What can you tell me about that number?
I mean, it's a pretty good number. You want to be under 10 and get lower, but it's hard to say without knowing for sure where it was before. Hopefully it's coming down from before. I would be curious to know what it was, but getting it under 10, it's really right there on the border. And maybe Renee can chime in on that one too.
No, I agree. And if it's at 10.6 and it was 20 before when you started, I mean, you're doing really great. So and I just watched Oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. I just watched it yesterday, and Todd, you were there, and were you in SBG yesterday? The dietitian that Bella had on.
Yeah, but what is her name? Hold on, I'll get it for you. I
Yeah.
forgot her name.
Anyway, she was talking about this, and it's all a matter of where you're going down and how long it takes. And sometimes it can take months, and sometimes it can take. It depends on how much metabolic disease you have. So, I agree with Lynn. I think 10.6 is good, unless you started at 10.6.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you. For those that are just joining us now, we're giving away a Healing Humanity shirt and a bunch of other prizes. You have to use hashtag ribeye and post your best question, and try to do it soon because we're going to be doing the first drawing here in just a couple minutes.
Michelle Hearn, that's who it was.
Yes. And she has a great book that everybody was talking about yesterday too. So Michelle Hearn has definitely got a lot of experience in eating disorders, and she's amazing.
Good stuff. Derek King asks, what are your all thoughts on wild game? I am a hunter and I have a freezer full of meat, but it's all lean.
You do have to add your fats to that for sure, but I'll take any that you want to send my way. Just send it on down here. I need some more wild game in my fridge. I love it. No, yeah, just make sure you're adding enough fats, because again, you can really overdo it on the lean meat if you're not adding some additional fats to it.
And there's benefits because you know that it has not been, given antibiotic, it hasn't been, corralled, it's been roaming free. So there's definitely those benefits.
Eating a natural diet. Mm-hmm.
Natural. Yeah. Yes.
I have a bunch of deer and elk in my freezer, and we cook it in butter and add any extra fat that we absolutely can to it. And sometimes I'll mix it with beef or something else that's really fatty.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Next question is from Teresa Green. Is bone broth good for electrolytes?
I'll take that one. Yeah, definitely. As far as the ratio of electrolytes, it's going to be hit or miss depending on what bones you're using, obviously, and what your target is. So if you want to make sure that you're getting your electrolytes, I would probably take some sort of supplement. But personally, I don't use electrolytes at all whatsoever. I might not suggest somebody do that if they're in the beginning stages of transitioning to the carnivore diet, because you'll likely need to make sure that you replenish the electrolytes that are lost with water loss in the first 2 to 3, 4 weeks. But yeah, that's bone broth. Bone broth does have electrolytes in it.
But it's good to just add sodium. If you don't want to buy an expensive electrolyte, just add sodium.
Right. All right. Good stuff. News and Info Joe. Is there going to be a special heaven for carnivores? I think we're living in it. I think we're all living in it right now.
We're starting to experience it already.
For sure.
Good health.
Just imagine in heaven, no sickness, we won't have to deal with any of this. So it gets even better. So carnivore is just a little taste. We're just getting a little taste of it. We're getting a nibble.
Sounds similar to carnivore for sure. You got a super chat too. Just wanted to point out.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. And endless Brazilian steakhouse. Your card's always on green in carnivore heaven. Never get full. All right, let's do this super chat. Gunther, $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that. Every penny I get from the super chats goes 100% towards the documentary. In terms of energy, what were the differences you noticed between standard carnivore, lion, and bee lion? For those of you that don't know, I did this thing called bee lion that I made up, which was just lion diet, but I still had butter. Which of those gave you the most energy? Also, what meats and extra fats, and how much fat did you eat on lion? Wow. Okay. I felt the best on lion diet or bee lion. I don't know if there was a difference between carnivore. I feel like, just to full disclosure, I feel absolutely incredible on carnivore, but I did feel better on lion. I just felt more energy. Mood was a little bit better between lion or bee lion. So I would say that was when I had the most energy was definitely when I was doing lion diet, which is just weird. It's weird. I don't know. Every now and then on carnivore, I'd come across something or I'd get a little inflammation. Maybe it was the chicken I was eating, or if I'd go out to eat somewhere, get some seed oils or something like that. I didn't have any of that on lion. So my energy was definitely a lot better. What meats and extra fats? The favorite meat I would eat is ribeye, but of course I can't eat ribeye for every single meal. The most often meal that I ate on lion diet was patties. Like I would just, and I would get, when I did lion once for a couple months, and it was almost like every single day, same time, same meals, just a bunch of burger patties over and over and over again. A lot of times I cook them in tallow. So that was my main fat, was tallow. My favorite, like if I was in carnivore heaven, I would be eating ribeye fat and picanha fat over and over again. The picanha thing is a new one, by the way, but I really like the taste of fat on picanha after the last meal that Adam and I had from Chris Spath. That was incredible. So in terms of how much fat did you eat on lion, I'm the worst person to ask about this. I couldn't tell you tablespoons, liter, weigh it out. Like I have no idea. That's one of the things I love about carnivore. I would say that it's probably more than most people would think in terms of the amount of fat I'm eating. Like I look for the fattier cuts of meat. I've gone to the meat market before and had them just cut up fat for me. I mentioned earlier when Adam and I filmed with Maggie, we just ate straight up fat for breakfast, chunks of fat. So probably more than you would think, but I can't give you a precise measurement. I'm not good at measuring things like that. So I guess the last thing I'll say on the fat, because I know we have a lot of new carnivores here, is Dr. Chafee gave me this advice early on, and he said it's your bowel movements are pretty good in measuring if you're having too much fat or not enough. If you have like diarrhea and you're in the bathroom a lot, you're probably consuming too much fat. And that's kind of a good way to measure what you're getting in terms of measurements. That's been the only measurement I've really kept an eye on. So hopefully that helps. But in terms of carnivore versus lion, the last thing I'll say, because now I'm rambling, but I appreciate the super chat. I feel like lion is a really good tool if people are doing carnivore for a while and maybe they feel like they've stalled out, but they're legitimately stalled out. It seems like when you have just kind of a drastic change to the body, I've talked to many, many people that have done this. When they switch from carnivore to lion, it's not that big of a change. Maybe just dropping eggs or fish or something just to go to the ruminant animals. It almost inevitably, the people notice, like, I was just like this, and then all of a sudden I started having progress again, or I started feeling better again. So I always advocate for that. If you are truly stalled out, and some people think they're stalled out, but they're not, that's a whole other story. But if you're truly stalled out, I'd recommend giving it a try. It's really not that hard to go from carnivore to lion, and you don't have to be like, I'm going to be lion diet like Dante Ferrigno for the rest of my life. You could just do it for 3 days and see how you feel. Do it for a week or something like that. So thank you so much for that super chat. Really appreciate it.
You've got
I did lion for a whole year.
Yeah, and so Lynn, you did it. You had other reasons, right, with like histamine and.
Yeah, I was on it for a whole year, but that's when because of the high histamine, I needed to keep everything real low histamine. But that is when my health really turned a corner with my immune disease, and I saw the biggest improvement. And so I stayed on it for a good solid year before I started testing other things out.
Awesome. All right. There's a couple more super chats, but first we got to do our first giveaway. So if you left the hashtag, and we're going to be giving away another thing here in just a second. Right now, we're giving away this Healing Humanity shirt for hashtag ribeye. So let me share my screen. Here we go. Drum roll, please. The winner of a Healing Humanity shirt in the lower 48 United States is Beth Marquez. Congratulations, Beth. Adam, how can Beth claim her prize?
Beth, you can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway and fill out the form there and what prize you won, and we'll make sure that we get your prize to you promptly.
Awesome. Congratulations, Beth. So for the next giveaway, we're going to do hashtag salt, and we're going to be giving away a $20 portable Redmond salt shaker with salt. This is great if you're going out to eat or visiting family. You can have some nice, clean salt with you. Fire up the chat right now. Comment, #salt. Give us your questions. Give us your comments. And make sure you follow each of these individuals that are on here. Ashley, Todd, Adam, Renee, Lynn. It's real simple. The link is in the description below. And then use #salt. And isn't it right, Adam? They can do it on several different channels and get
Yep.
more entries to win.
Yep. If you do it on everybody's channel, that's another entry to win. And yeah, it's just really cool to do that.
Awesome. And just one last quick reminder, and then we'll jump back into the questions. Giving away this awesome beef bundle, $225 value, Independence Arc Farms. That is also in the description. So when you follow all these folks, if you sign up for the email newsletter while you're down there, that's all you got to do. On the last call of the month, we're going to randomly pick one of the email subscribers, and we're going to give them this $225 beef bundle. Shout out independencearc.com. All right, the next question we have is a super chat from David. Kerry, a couple of weeks ago, I won a Redmond salt keychain. How appropriate. We're giving one away right now. I wanted to give something back as a thank you. I have a Zoom meeting in 10 minutes, so I can't stay long. $10 super chat. Thank you so much, David. Really appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then we have one more super chat from Caleb's Carnivore Quest. Is dairy worth eating? And if so, how much?
It's not worth it for me.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
really
All my weight loss.
Raise your hand if it's worth it for you. That's what I thought.
But I do know I do know people who like Amy Haas. If you're listening, you know, she shares this all the time. She had bypass surgery and she relies on dairy. So if your situation is like hers, then it may be that you do okay with it and you need it, because she has really a lot of trouble getting her fat from elsewhere, but most people don't tolerate it very well.
Yeah. That was one of the biggest things I've learned on carnivore is a lot of people struggle with dairy. So the 6 of us here, it's a no-go on the dairy. I think some people say they can tolerate it, but then I always wonder, like, I could tolerate eating cardboard too, but just because you could tolerate it doesn't mean that we have to do it. But a lot of people, like if you're doing carnivore or if you're new and you're a couple weeks into it and you feel like, man, I'm just stalling out, I'm not feeling good, ask yourself if you're eating dairy or cheese, and usually that is the culprit. So thank you for the super chat, Caleb. Really appreciate it. All right, where did we leave off on the questions here? Wild game, we got that one. Okay, here we go. Next question is from Booby Goats. Shout out Booby Goats. Makes me smile every single time. I'm an immature little 44-year-old. Booby Goats. Good evening from Tennessee. I just came off a 2-week sardine challenge. When are you heading to Tennessee?
Hopefully in early April. So we'll wait to release details for that once we get details. But yeah, hopefully early April.
Right. We don't have an official announcement, Booby Goats, but it's looking very promising early April. And as Ashley mentioned, we have an events page, and there's going to be a lot of events on there. We're doing a lot of meetups and traveling around for the documentary and keeping the momentum going. So, all right.
There's a couple more super chats in there too.
Oh, are there? Okay. Wow. Yeah. We'll do this one quick. Nourishment Redacted. Ellie, how's it going? Ellie's going to be down at our Dr. Kilt's meetup in Florida, so we'll get to meet in person. I'm really looking forward to that. And also, if anyone else is going to join us there with Dr. Kilt's, Dr. Nelson's going to be there. Papa Carnivore's going to be there. And Adam's going to be there. Jen's going to be there. Emma's going to be there.
Ashley's going to be there.
Ashley's going to be there. I think there's more too. Oh, Dr. Philip Ovadia, Dr. Lisa Whiteman's going to be there. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it was confirmed or not yet, but Kelly Ritter's going to be there.
Yeah.
And
Dr. Boz.
Dr. Boz. Huge. So it's going to be crazy. So if you're going to join us down there, like I mentioned earlier, kiltsmeetup.com, and Dr. Kiltz will be on the channel on Saturday. Ellie's question is, what is the most unexpected benefit of carnivore when you first started versus now? I'll be at the Tampa meetup. Can't wait to meet you. I didn't even read that part. Okay, there we go. Anyone got an unexpected benefit of carnivore when you first started versus now?
I was scared to fly, and I had no idea that fear went away till I got on my first plane without medication, and that was within 3 months of going carnivore. And I shared earlier, I just got my very first passport in the mail today because I'm no longer scared to fly. So that was my most unexpected benefit. I had no clue that was going to take my fear away.
Wow, that's crazy. I have flown a couple times before doing this documentary, but I had a similar fear. I hated it. Like I would stress out about it and worry about it. And now I think we've flown all over the world. I don't even worry about it anymore. But my wife Jen too, she's going to be flying down to Florida, and she hasn't flown in years. And she's still scared about it, but that's pretty cool that carnivore did that for you.
One of mine that I didn't really realize until someone mentioned it, then I went, "Oh yeah, that's a benefit I've experienced was no more tonsil stones." And I've mentioned that before, but those are the nastiest things, and it's so nice. I've not had them. I used to have them all the time, and I have not had any since I started carnivore.
Nice, awesome. All right, Chris Stearns, member for 7 months. Chris came out to our Chicago meetup. Picanha is the crack of meat. It's highly addictive for sure. OMG, so good. I love me some picanha. The Brazilian steakhouse one was good, but I don't know about you, Adam. That one that Chris Spath prepared for us was...
Oh, man, that was heavenly.
Do you have any locally, Adam? I'm like looking around and I can't find any. I want to make some myself.
What, Picanha or Chris Stearns locally?
Either one.
Chris Spath locally.
How did he cook that? When you guys have talked about it several times, how did he cook it?
On the grill.
Yeah.
Cooked it on the grill, and then he finished it at the end with the little propane blowtorch just to crisp up the fat a little bit, which was the coolest thing.
Nice.
I can't believe I've gone this long on carnivore and I don't have a little blowtorch like that. So I immediately went on my phone and ordered one, and I have one here now.
Yeah, we all saw it in Emma's video.
We did. I have to say, I ordered mine.
Nice. I can't wait to use that some more.
Did he cook the picanha whole, or did he slice it and then grill it, or how did he cook it whole?
He sliced it up first. Yeah, big cutting board.
Okay.
Sliced it up into little steak-sized pieces, and
little
then
steaks, and then grilled it. Okay.
And he was nervous too. He's like, I'm like, listen, Chris, I'm like, it could be raw in the middle and we're going to all be smiling and happy, but he nailed it. Like he cooked it perfectly. It was so good. It was a thick steak. Like I couldn't have pulled that off on a grill like that, but thank you, Chris Stearns. For those that are just jumping on, we're giving away a bunch of prizes, and right now it's #salt. So quickly, before we do the next drawing, leave #salt with your question or comment. We have a super chat from Susan Lydia, $5. Thank you so much, Susan. Tired of eggs, chicken, and ground beef sometimes. Can a plain protein powder in yogurt or cottage cheese be a good source of protein sometimes? Anyone have any thoughts on that one?
It could be. It's definitely not ideal. I might go for steak if you want to switch it up a little bit. Maybe cook the eggs differently. Hard boil them possibly, or scramble them if you fry them, or vice versa. Ground beef, crisp it up, maybe make it thinner and crispier. Just try to look for different ways to cook those same things. That might help just a little bit, but personally, I wouldn't eat the protein powders. That's a processed food. It's not a whole food. And yogurt, I don't like yogurt, and I have to stay away from dairy. So I may not be the best to give an answer here, but maybe explore different ways of cooking those other foods.
Yeah, and different cuts have different tastes. That Kerry's stew recipe is great, and it's really easy.
Right. Yeah. So maybe switch it up. I'm on the same as Adam there. If it's not natural, like a whole product, like a piece of meat or an egg, I'm just staying away from it because it's just caused nothing but trouble for me in the past. The other thing you might want to try is for people that get some food aversions or they get sick of things, sometimes it's just like maybe it's time to take a little break or do a little intermittent fasting, maybe skip a meal or two. it's amazing how some of those things were like, I could never eat another burger patty in my entire life. And then you fast for a couple hours or skip a meal or two. Your body, once you do that for a while, your body will actually be craving those things again. So that might be another thing to think about.
And lamb is actually really good. If I don't know if you know, there's people who don't like lamb, but I love lamb, and we get lamb chops, and they're really cost effective. And salt them and just bake them in the oven, and they're really good.
Yeah. Sisse, $10 super chat. Thank you for that.
Oh, wow.
Lynn, what could be a problem with eating too much protein with not enough fat, other than possibly constipation?
So it can raise your blood sugar if you eat too much protein. And really, this is not, the right way to be in ketosis is really to have the right ratio, and you want to get more fat. And so it can stall you out. You cannot be getting the health benefits that you want. We're really looking at wanting to do a higher fat, more of a moderate protein as far as your ratios go. And so, obviously not enough fat the problem could be constipation as well. So there may be more things to it, but those are the ones just off the top of my head.
All right. Question from Phil. Only a few weeks in and new to carnivore, I hear a ton about beef, but not much about lamb.
I just mentioned lamb.
There we go. Why is that? Availability, taste. So I think Lynn just touched on that.
Some people don't like the taste of it. It is an acquired taste.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, that's it for me. I've had it sometimes and it was okay, but every now and then I'll see it in Costco or whatever, and I'll be like, I should try that. And then I'm like, yeah, I like beef. And then I just default to the beef. So it seems like in other countries it's a lot more popular too, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. If you like the taste of it, go for it.
Yeah, I like it from time to time, but it gets old of me real quick.
I'm like you, Kerry. I've tried it a million times, and I still, every time I go, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it one more time. Maybe it'll be different this time. And nope, never.
Right.
So when I first started trying to eat lamb, I got ground lamb, and I combined it with ground beef to just give a different flavor for my hamburger patties. And that was a nice combination. And, I just kind of eased my way into it. I got lamb steaks, and I started out by just like salting it a lot just to kind of get used to the taste. But now I really do enjoy the taste. So I think it's a good clean meat, just like beef is. So I think it's worth trying.
Absolutely.
Nice. Simply Social has a awesome question for you, Kerry. That's 7th starred comment from the bottom.
All right. Let's see here. Simply Social. What is the best?
That last one about butter?
No. Two more up.
Back.
Up. He mentioned. There you go.
Simply Social. Homestead, do you have a group or online program to learn carnivore? Well, that's a great question. Yeah, scrolling there on the bottom of the screen, healinghumanity.life, and you can get 50% off the first month if you use the code LIFEJ50. It's a complete program membership site. We have courses you could take at your own pace. There's a Carnivore Foundations course that I put together that'll tell you all about carnivore. There's a community. There's several different groups in different categories. We also have several Zoom calls per week that are for members only. Like I mentioned earlier, last night we had the amazing, incredible Dr. Sean Baker on as our doctor expert. So every week we do several Zoom calls, breaking addictions calls. And the other thing that's cool with our site is some of the proceeds are going to support Healing Humanity, not just the documentary, but we hope to do a series afterwards. And we also provide a lot of really cool, exclusive members-only updates. So when Adam and I are out filming, we'll do behind-the-scenes photographs, little videos, and things like that to keep people up to speed on the documentary. So great question. Simply Social.
Kerry's Carnivore Foundation course is very good. So free. We have quite a few courses free to all of our members. But if you want to learn carnivore, that's a really great course. I think you had 13, 14 lessons in it.
Yeah.
They're not long, but yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Lynn. Simply Social. Good question. All right. Should we do a drawing?
Do it.
We're doing a drawing for a Redmond's portable salt shaker. Drum roll, please. We need an official drum roll sound effect.
Yes, we do.
Redmond's portable salt shaker, $20 value. If you want to buy one of these too, by the way, there's a link in the description. Stevie Wood, congratulations. Adam, where can Stevie Wood claim his prize?
Stevie Wood, you can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway and fill out the form there with what you won, and we will make sure that you get your prize right away. Congratulations.
All right.
Yay.
Congratulations. And we're going to keep giving away stuff. So let's do this next. How about a 1-month free membership to Healing Humanity Life, which we were just talking about. #life. Blow up the chat with #life. Questions, comments, anything. Put #life in there. And in a few minutes, we're going to do a drawing and we'll give away a free month to healinghumanity.life. And make sure you follow and subscribe to each of the wonderful folks that are on the call tonight. Link in the description for each of them. And then #life. All right, next question is going to take me a minute to find.
Every time you put up that slide, Kerry, that last one, it's always I look at Lynn on that one, the before and after, and it's just amazing to me. It's such an incredible before and after, Lynn.
Thank
Yes,
you.
it is.
All carnivore.
Right, and Lynn, you've been doing some pretty awesome stuff lately too, right? You just got back from Arizona.
Just
Had a couple
got
of
back this
firsts.
afternoon.
Yeah,
I had,
horseback
yes,
riding.
I had several firsts. So I never was able to horseback ride before because of my weight and just my health in general. So I got to go horseback riding. We went dune bugging, the desert, and that slide that we did just at the restaurant that first night, going down the slide, never would have done that. Absolutely not. So I hiked up some hills and, I was able to take steps and not worry. We had a lot of places where we went where there was a lot of stairs. And in the past, I would have been like, there's no way. I'm not going to go down because I know I got to come back up. And that wasn't even an issue. So it was
It's
really
so
great.
awesome. I got to just say, like out in Arizona, it was so fun hanging out with Lynn and her husband, David, and Adam and Amy and everyone else and Ashley.
Ashley.
Yeah, and just seeing your joy, Lynn, you're going down the slide and you're laughing, you're having a great time. And by the way, put me onto some new hobbies like geocaching, which was incredibly fun. I can't wait to do that again. And we killed it on the escape room, the most difficult escape room they had. Nothing for this group of carnivores. We knocked it out of the park. If we weren't carnivore, I don't know if we would have made it through. I don't think I would have made it through there. I would have been sitting on the couch the whole time, probably.
I wouldn't have. There's no way. Too much brain fog before I was carnivore.
Right. All right. Question from MA. Is it possible that butter is stalling me from losing weight? Been clean carny for 5 months and haven't lost weight yet. Any suggestions? Thank you.
Yeah. Good.
I stopped eating butter because I started gaining weight, and I don't know if it was the butter, but it was the only thing that I thought it could be. And I have noticed that my weight is starting to go back down. So I think I was overdoing it with the butter. I mean, I was eating gobs of butter with each meal to get my fat in, but I eat fatty cuts. So I really didn't need it as much as I was eating it. So I really do think the butter was not helping me in my favor.
Mm-hmm. I had the same. I had to cut back on it as well because it was definitely stalling. It's hard. I hear different things. I hear that especially for women, we need a high amount of fat, but butter is a little bit different than, eating the fat right off of the meat. And so I got plenty of my own fat to burn. So I cut it out and it definitely helped. Like Renee.
All right.
Kerry, before you continue, Stevie Wood posted, let's see, where do I claim my prize? Sorry, I was too excited to jot it all down. So Stevie, get your pen and paper ready or type it in healinghumanity.movie/giveaway. So if you go to the website and you'll be able to fill out the form there and claim your prize.
That's awesome. You got a couple of super chats too, Kerry.
Okay, cool. Thank you. All right. So we're on hashtag life right now, and I'm checking the little tool that we only have 49 entries. So if you want to win a free membership, hashtag life with your question or comment. Let's see. The next one we have here is from. Here we go. Gunther. I'm doing high fat, 100% grass fed lion, 2 meals a day. I've been having the worst energy crashes of my life 2 hours after meals. Could the fatigue be due to histamine issues? And if so, how can I fix that?
It's really going to depend on, you're doing the lion diet. So I'm assuming you're doing basically beef, maybe lamb, and salt and water. That's the lion diet. That's how it worked for me. I don't know if you have histamine issues. It could be just the freshness of the meat that you're eating. So I would need to know more to know if whether or not it was histamine, because you can do the lion diet and still have too much histamine, especially if you're very sensitive to it. So I would maybe try to stay away from ground beef, because the more surface area of the meat, which is the case with ground beef, the more histamine. Be very fresh with your meat. And you may need to freeze leftovers if you have any leftovers, and then just thaw them and reheat them when you want to eat them. So it's a matter of trial and error just to see. You could also try a DAO enzyme, which will help down histamine, and see if that helps, but it doesn't necessarily help everybody unless you have a slow acting enzyme, which you can find through just doing some genetic testing. But I would definitely experiment, maybe try the DAO, try with super fresh food, and avoid the ground beef.
Thank you, Lynn. Question from Anne Louie. Any Christians here? The Bible talks about how God gave us plants for food in Genesis. Thoughts on this?
I've
I'd
got,
like to
thoughts,
take
I've got thoughts on it. Go ahead, Todd.
No, I was looking this up. I saw that and I was preparing for this. This is what because I've thought about this a lot too. And in Jesus' time, there were 3 major wheat varieties: Elkhorn, Emmer, and Spelt. And now there's over 25,000 lab-grown wheat species, and that's what I think happened to all the plants, all the way across the board. And I think God, in His wisdom, gave us ruminant animals with 4 stomachs that they could take the hit from this man-made abomination that we call food. Now they go out and they eat all that. All the vegetation that's been kind of just, corrupted by technology, or whatever you want to call it, over-farmed, over-spraying, with chemicals and crap. And the blessing is that those ruminant animals and those 4 stomachs take the hit for us, and they clean, they take the nutrients out and take the sickness out of it. That's the way I look at it, and that's kind of my thoughts on it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree 100%, Todd. So everything you said, perfect. I prefer to let the cows that are also given to us by God to filter the foods. So you're still eating the plants, you're just in a different form, right? Yeah. It's a more optimal form. We can subsist on plants for a while. It's not going to be optimal for human health. So I think it's okay in some instances, but personally, I would rather just let the cows filter it.
For sure.
And I did a video. I have a video on my channel that I did on this exact topic, and it was a long time ago, so I look a lot different. I think it was called "Is Carnivore Diet Biblical?", where I talk about the Genesis, which is obvious from scripture that the original intent was for us to eat the plants that God gave us. Sin and the fall changes everything, and every single aspect of that situation changed. So the relationship with food, I'm sure, changed as well. But I also talk about, in Daniel, there's a lot of people will talk about the Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, Daniel, who they chose, instead of eating the king's food, which was meat food. They wanted vegetables and water, and they got strong. And that was some people, a lot of people will say, well, that's the reason why the Bible promotes eating vegetables. But I shared that my perspective is different on that. My perspective of that is that was actually a miracle that they got strong, because there is no way they should have gotten stronger on just vegetables and water. And the Bible says that whatever, everything is to give glory to God. So I really believe that situation with Daniel was to glorify God, to say, look, even on vegetables and water, these guys got stronger. And they were choosing to eat those. And I'm sure part of it was because were living in a pagan society. And those societies, when they butcher their animals, they do it butchering it to their God. And so I'm sure that there was a religious reason why they didn't want to eat that as well. But yeah, I cover all that video on my channel. So if you're interested, go check it out.
Good stuff. I agree with all of that. I've talked about this before because I get this comment a lot on the channel. I agree with what Todd said too. I believe like my body is my temple. It says that in the Bible too. And the fruits and vegetables and plants that were mentioned in the Bible don't exist anymore because man has perverted them so much. Even just like an apple today, even 50 years ago, it looks different than it did 50 years ago because it's been modified so many times to be a big piece of candy. And even if you eat the cleanest vegetables, there's overspray from pesticides and glyphosate. And I don't feel like it's honoring my body if I'm consuming something that's got pesticides or antibiotic glyphosate in it, even if it's happening in low levels over and over and over again. I believe that the cleanest food I can eat, given the options, is ruminant beef. So that's my take on it.
We're
Good
living
question,
in a fallen world.
For sure.
Yep.
You
got
got
more
a couple.
super chats.
Yep.
More super chats. Awesome. Okay. Let's see. Next one is from Richard Conard. Been carnivore for a while. Been having heart palpitations. Thinking it's electrolyte imbalances, using element, but still having them.
I had those, and it lasted maybe 3 to 4 weeks, and my heartbeat was much more rapid than it normally was. It was so much so that I felt like, as a person who never goes to the doctor, I might have to go get this checked. But I'm also lazy, and I didn't get it checked, and it did eventually go away. And I've heard several explanations for this of why this is happening, and I don't want to go too much into that here. But if you think that something serious is going on with yourself, I would definitely make sure that you get to a doctor and have it checked out.
Yeah, I would say measure your heart rate, find out how high is it going, how long is it sustaining, are you having symptoms, are you getting dizzy, lightheaded, any shortness of breath. If any of those things are happening, go to the doctor, go to an urgent care center, get checked out for sure. Don't take risks with your heart. Especially if the electrolytes are not working. You can also, it could be a histamine issue. I had heart palpitations with histamine, so it could be a possible histamine reaction as well. But err on the side of safety if you're symptomatic and if it's sustained. Don't mess with it.
Good stuff. All right. For those just joining us, we're giving away a 30-day membership to healinghumanity.life. #life. We're going to be doing that drawing in just a few minutes, so you still have time to post a comment or question with #life. Chris Stearns, $5 super chat. Chris, thank you so much. When God required sacrifices, it wasn't an ear of corn, it was your best animal. And we were made in God's image. Food for thought.
100%. And we, when was the last time you seen the vegans try, or the meat eaters try to make a ribeye taste like, carrots, that we'd eat more vegetables, right? Like, or steak, it's always the vice versa. Everybody's trying to make, the vegan food, they're trying to make it meat imposters, right? They're trying to make vegan meat and vegan, meat sticks and vegan bacon and all this stuff. I mean, it's pretty clear to see that that's where our natural palate is at, for our species.
100%. All right. Thank you, Chris Stearns. Appreciate it. Sheila has a question. What kind of desiccated thyroid to buy, and where do you get it?
I wouldn't get anything without connecting with maybe a naturopathic doctor or somebody to guide you on that. I don't know, maybe Renee can chime in on this too.
No, I would suggest the same thing. Definitely a functional medicine or a naturopath doctor. Messing with the thyroid isn't something that I want to advise again on without a doctor's advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Davin says, how do you get enough fiber?
You get none.
I don't.
I haven't. Okay, I will take
Zero.
this because I was a gastroenterology nurse. All right. So, and I taught people you got to have your fiber, you got to have your fruits, your vegetables, your grains, or you're not going to poop. And that is completely false. I have been now going on 20 months, zero fiber, and you do not need fiber to have a bowel movement. I know that now. I wish when I was a GI nurse working still, I had known it is the fat that helps you get things moving. And your body will tell you if you're getting too much fat or not enough fat. So you also have to redefine constipation when you're a carnivore, because you do not have as frequent bowel movements. You don't have as large bowel movements. So you need to redefine constipation as, are you bloated? Are you uncomfortable? Are you straining to pass stool? Is your stool hard? Those are the things that define constipation, not frequency of having a bowel movement. You can go every day. You can go once a week. I went one time 14 days without a bowel movement. That was not the usual for me, but no pain whatsoever. And when it was ready to come, it came. And I think then I wasn't eating enough fat. But you absolutely do not need fiber. And there are actual clinical trials around this where they have people that go on a meat fat-based, high fat diet that have constipation, and their constipation resolves. So 100%, I forget the actual study, but I know 100% of the people that participated, their constipation resolved with zero fiber.
All right. Great answer, Lynn. Nancy C. Kerry, did you have a racing heart? Yes, I did. I think it was like tachycardia. I think that's what it was called. I had that. I had irregular heartbeat, and I had congestive heart failure with an ejection fraction of 44. And long story short, after 1 year on carnivore, all of those things reversed. My blood pressure improved, my heart rate's normal, my ejection fraction's normal, and my heart's not racing anymore. And I don't get dizzy standing up anymore either, which is pretty incredible.
What was your resting heart rate, out of curiosity? Do you remember?
I don't remember, but the only thing I remember is I did a video with Dr. Ovadia, heart surgeon Ovadia, and we kind of went through my medical records, and I remember specifically it said tachycardia on a few of them with like over 120 beats per second when they were doing the heart monitor or whatever. So I don't remember what the resting was though.
That's crazy. Yeah, I was tachycardic for like I think they said 19 months straight.
Wow.
I never went out of it. It was crazy until carnivore.
Well, I had a weird thing too, long story short, but one doctor that I would go to, when they would check my heartbeat, it would screw up their monitor because I had their irregular heartbeat, and it would almost register as if I was having more beats, because I guess I was, but that was like throwing it off for some reason. I remember the guy saying like, we're gonna have to use a different, like newer thing, but I don't know. It's crazy. It's all resolved on carnivore. I tell that to people sometimes too, and they're like, that's unbelievable. I'm like, I don't believe it either. It's in my medical records. And when I did the video with Dr. Ovadia, I've done a couple videos now where I put my actual medical records. They're out there. They're in the public, showing my ejection fraction before and after, and my heart rate before and after. Mm-hmm. And the really crazy thing is, it's kind of uncharted territory because most people that have these heart issues don't go and eat only meat. But so many people have been commenting to me that are like, yeah, I had congestive heart failure as well and reversed it on carnivore. Hopefully over time we get more data and studies. And I know there's some people out there like Dr. Baker that's trying to do more research and studies and things like that, but it's kind of uncharted territory. Catholic housewife, is it best to add fasting to carnivore after the first few weeks when fasting seems to come more naturally?
Yeah, when fasting comes naturally, fast. When it's when you're hungry, you eat. I ran that the other day where somebody had just started carnivore and he's I think on day 14, and he's like, I just got up this morning and I normally eat breakfast every morning, but I didn't really feel like I needed a breakfast, so he didn't eat. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. In fact, that probably is your body telling you that you're good. You're good.
Awesome. We're going to be doing the drawing in just a minute for 30 days free on healinghumanity.life, hashtag life, and make sure you follow everyone here on the screen. There's links in the description below. We have a question from Marcia. I'm going on a cruise on the 28th. What are things anyone has done when looking to stay carnivore?
Walk very quickly past all the free desserts.
Right. Right.
I went on a cruise. And I lost 11 pounds on a cruise by sticking with all of the meat and all. There's so much you can eat on a cruise that's carnivore.
Yep.
So, but I would say there is also a ton that is tempting and it is all free. So it has to have to do with the mindset. You can choose not to look at stuff. And you, as soon as it comes into periphery, walk the other direction and decide ahead of time, I'm not going to eat it. I'm just, if you're tempted, go get some more meat because there's always meat to eat.
Yeah. Just a few things real quick. Be very careful because some of the meat, like there's certain cruise lines, I just learned this from Dr. Lisa Wiedemann, that will deep fry bacon and seed oils. So you got to ask about that. That could really throw you off. Most cruises have an egg station, but they use seed oils or spray. But if you bring butter, and they usually have the little butter packets, like go get the butter packets and take it to them and be like, use this. That's a mistake that I made before. Is you got to be real clear on it. And then the last thing is a lot of cruises have specialty restaurant. So if you're willing to treat yourself, the cruise that we went on had a steak restaurant, and it had like a little bit of an upcharge, but it really wasn't very ridiculous. And that was like good steaks. Like that was something that I looked forward to. So if you can kind of plan it that way, but like Lynn said, it's a big mental game as well. For me,
Yeah.
I was kind of a big baby on it, but I was perfectly 100% carnivore when I went on the cruise. I didn't cheat at all, but I fell into a depression and I think it was the bacon in retrospect, because I learned afterwards that this particular cruise line was deep frying the bacon and I was eating a lot of bacon. And it was crazy how some of those things came back: inflammation, depression, stuff like that. But if you're prepared, the mindset thing that's tricky is, I don't know if this is me being dramatic or what, but it's the truth. I almost feel like I'm kind of like a recovering alcoholic. And when you go on a cruise, it's all alcoholics everywhere. Like everyone is on that cruise because you're like, woohoo, free food, 24-hour free food, and everyone's celebrating the food. So be prepared for that. It's kind of a mindset thing, but there's lots of carnivores that have really good success, like Lynn and Dr. Lisa Wiedemann goes on cruises all the time. As long as you're prepared and you got to be. That's what I learned with Dr. Lisa. She does not mess around. We went to eat with her. Dr. Kiltz treated us, and she's like interrogating. Are you sure? No, you're positive. No seed oils, no nothing. Like you have to be really clear. You have to use the word allergy too. Not, I would prefer no seed oils. You have to say, I'm allergic to seed oils. That will get their attention and make you listen to them. So.
And it can wreck your day if you eat the wrong stuff and you want to go on shore excursions and you want to enjoy all of the amenities of the cruise, and it can really wreck your day if you mess up with your diet. Because I found that as a carnivore, like I haven't cheated, but I know a lot of people who cheat on the carnivore, like a little bit affects us a lot more than it would someone on the standard American diet when their body's already just given up. And it's like, okay, fine, you're going to give me toxins. I'm just going to deal with it. Our bodies are now much more pure. So when we eat stuff that we shouldn't, you really feel it. So it can really wreck your day for sure.
And we could talk about cruises all day. One last thing I was going to say real quick. There's a lot of good stuff you can do on the cruise too, right? There's a nice gym. You can walk around the deck. You can get tons of sunshine. So soak up all of those natural things that you can as well. All right. We got to give away a winner now. HealingHumanity.life free membership for 30 days. We're going to do the drawing right now. Drum roll, please. The winner of a 30-day free membership to HealingHumanity.life is Sherry Frecker.
Woo!
Congratulations, Sherry. Where can Sherry claim her prize?
Well, Kerry, Sherry can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway. Fill out the form there, and we will send you your prize promptly. Congratulations.
And I want to just say something, because I know the more we have these drawings, the more of our current members are going to be here. And so if you are already a member, let us know, hey, I'm already a member. I won the free membership. Give us your t-shirt size and your address. We will send you a t-shirt.
Awesome. All right.
In the lower 48.
In
Right.
lower 48. Yes. Thank you, Ashley.
All right. We're going to give away some more stuff here. I want to shout this out again one more time real quick because a lot of people have jumped on. Huge shout out to Independence Arc Farms. We're giving away a $225 beef value. What carnivore doesn't like a big box of meat? Regenerative farming, like they're doing it all right over there at Independence Arc Farms. All you have to do is go in the description, follow every one of these speakers, subscribe to them on YouTube. It takes like 30 seconds, real simple. Sign up for our email newsletter, and the last Thursday of the month, we're going to do this live stream. We're going to draw one of you, and we're going to give away that awesome box of beef from Independence Arc Farms. The next prize we're giving away is a Healing Humanity t-shirt, hashtag ribeye. So blow up the chat with comments and questions, hashtag ribeye, and we'll take some more questions right now. Let's see, where do we leave off here? Okay, more super chats. Okay. Sorry, there's a lot of questions in here. Okay, here we go. We got the fiber question. Fasting question. Oh, the cruise question. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. Gene Batista, does your homemade jerky have to be refrigerated? How long will it keep? We'll leave that one to Adam.
Well, if Kerry's around, it won't last for the day, so you can leave it out of the fridge. But I have left it out of the fridge for a week, and it was okay. Your mileage may vary depending on how you actually make it. I think it probably would last longer than that, to be honest with you, the way that I make it. But they say up to 2 weeks in the fridge. So, just do your own experimenting. If it smells rotten, I wouldn't eat it.
Yep, the nose test, that's always a good giveaway.
Yep.
All right. I think we kind of answered this one already. How strict are you with dairy, yogurt, cheese, butter? I do butter and nothing else.
I do butter now, but I didn't do butter for quite a while.
Very little bit of butter.
Yeah, I don't do anything.
And I
Same,
only
just
do
a little bit of butter for me.
I only do sweet cream butter. I don't do cultured butter because it's a little bit higher in histamine, and that's what I have to watch. And I also started out with ghee and then transitioned to sweet cream butter.
All right. Hey, it's Yolanda. Yolanda's awesome.
Hi,
Awesome
Yolanda.
member, Healing Humanity. Yolanda's question is, I have been getting high numbers and heard that protein can bring it up. I decided to eat pork ribs that are very fatty. Is this a good idea?
I know Yolanda's talking about her blood sugar because I
Yep.
know Yolanda from our site. Yes. So I personally think that more fat is good. So,
I agree.
Yep. I think it's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right. D. Marie, what is the best way to cook the fat?
Making it nice and crispy.
air fry, cut it in pieces and air fry it.
Or if you're Dr. Kiltz, don't cook it at all.
That's
If
how I
you're
do it.
Dr.
I just eat it raw.
Do you, Adam?
I do.
Oh, wow. Dr. Kills will be proud of you.
It's just easier that way. I freeze it
Oh yeah,
raw in small
You
pieces and
freeze
just
it?
swallow it like a pill.
Oh, okay.
So you don't
I get
chew it
that
to get that texture.
No. Yep. Exactly.
smart. Okay.
Yeah.
Thomas asks, I am carnivore for over a year and I'm looking for someone to help mentor me to deal with my stage 4 renal cell carcinoma. Hoping someone in the group can provide a little guidance.
So I started that one, Kerry, because I think we want to try to have Thomas go to the healinghumanity.movie and then hit us up on the contact form and then see if we can get him in touch with Ronnie.
I was thinking the same thing.
That's what I
Yeah,
was thinking too.
good call. Yeah, so Thomas, hopefully you heard that. Just shoot us a message on the contact form and we'll set you up with our friend Ronnie. All right. Devin, is there any nutrient you supplement?
Iodine.
I actually do. Go ahead, Todd.
Oh, I just iodine, and in
Iodine.
the winter I do vitamin D.
Mm-hmm. Exactly here too.
I do
How much
iodine.
iodine do you take? Iodine. And so how much iodine do you guys take?
I take 50 milligrams a day.
I do 8 drops of the 5%. I think it comes.
Okay.
I don't remember what that comes out in milligrams.
That
Okay.
would be 20.
And I've been doing
It's
be
like 20.
20, yeah. Because I
and
do
I've been
20
doing
drops of 5%.
I've been doing 25 milligrams of the iodoral tablets. So, and then vitamin D, I mean, I live in the Pacific Northwest. I know Todd lives up north too. I do, my naturopathic doctor during the winter has me doing 10,000 IU a day.
I take vitamin D as well. And actually, my doctor just told me to back off to every 3 days because my levels were actually toxic because I was taking 10,000, but didn't realize I spend more time out in the sun now since I retired than I did before. So you just have to be careful.
Yeah, and you're in Arizona, so I think it's a really good point. You need to make sure if you're going to do vitamin D that you're getting your levels checked.
Right.
All right, question. Is there any way to help with acute histamine reaction? I had a small growth removed from the hand yesterday. Hand is painful and very itchy.
Okay, so that's an interesting, so it could be itchy because it's healing. So it could be, it's hard when it comes to things like a wound that's healing. So that might need something more topical, or you can do Benadryl, but an antihistamine would be fine to take. But if you're dealing with just anybody else who's dealing with an acute histamine reaction, with my mast cell activation syndrome, I don't have to do this anymore, but I did have to always keep with me a chewable Pepsid and a rapid dissolve Claritin. So when I had acute histamine reactions, it was throat swelling, tachycardia, and severe stroke level hypertension. And so if I started having symptoms, I would chew the Pepsid and pop the Claritin. Sometimes I had to do 2. They're 10 milligrams each. And that would get those symptoms under control very quickly because it dissolves real and absorbs real quickly. But if it's something that's localized to an area where you had the growth removed, I would be more thinking that it might be it's just a part of the healing and you just might need something topical. So.
All right. Here's a good question. What is the best cooker to cook steak in? I am in an apartment and I don't have I'm not sure what that is. Don't have an oven maybe? Don't have a grill or something? I don't know. Best cooker to cook a steak in an apartment. I'll take a shot at this real quick. If I only had one choice, it would probably be the air fryer.
Yep. Same here.
Same here.
Maybe seconded by the sous vide.
It can set off your smoke alarm though.
Right.
Yes, it can. Yeah. Sous vide is also a really good way to do that too in an apartment because you can have it really cooked up to temperature and then just get something really hot and fast, sear it off and be done with it as well. So that's a really good indoor method of cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hesitant to use the the air fryer. I watched Dante Ferrigno do it over and over again, and I was always like, that's not right. You can't cook a steak like that. And then I did it. I'm like, this is incredible. You can even cook it from frozen, and it comes out tasting fantastic. So it's really convenient too, especially you're eating a lot of meat on carnivore. Just throw some burger patties in that thing as well. It's a game changer. Susan said, isn't it called sirloin tip roast as well? I think she's talking about the picanha.
Sirloin
Yeah.
cap roast. Sirloin
Sirloin
cap.
cap. Anne asks, how do people buy a half or whole cow? Do you just Google it, or is it one of those things where you need to know someone?
So
Yeah.
I just bought my first half a cow not too long ago. And I actually did Google it when we moved here to Arizona. I just Googled butcher near me and found a butcher that actually works with the local ranchers, and you can buy a half a cow through them. So I don't know about anybody else, but I found my butcher on Google.
I did my first half cow that way too. And I got to say, next time I'm going to do a lot more research, because I wasn't impressed with it, and I wasn't impressed, especially with the butchery of it. So yeah, if you know someone, and especially if you can find out what they do and how they raise their cattle and how well it's taken care of, those kind of things. I mean, and more research you can do on it, because you're spending a lot of money if you buy a half cow or a cow. So, I would advise doing the research if you can, but it's definitely a good way if you can afford the lump sum up front to get meat in one of its cheapest forms. That way, when you buy it half cow like that.
Yeah.
But I have to add to that, I won't ever buy a half a cow again. Put that out there to the world. I've discovered that I only like ribeyes and tri-tip, and I don't like ground beef, and I don't like anything else. I am not enjoying the chuck roast. I am not enjoying, like, Ashley, we have to figure out how to cook the heart, because we have a huge heart sitting in our freezer, but I'm not enjoying what I thought it was going to be so much more than it was. So be careful too, because you don't just get ribeyes and T-bones and that's it. Like, you get the whole entire half a cow. And I mean, I like the oxtail too, but this is all stuff I can buy at Costco, Business Center, or somewhere else, and I don't have to. So, and the other thing I discovered was, depending on what the cow eats depends on how the cow tastes. And the cows in Southern Arizona don't taste like the cows that I was used to from other places that I've had, grass-fed cows. So be careful too about what the cow is eating.
For sure. I would agree with that. I have bought a couple half cows, and they last really long time because I don't like most of the meat that comes with them, and I keep rebuying ribeye and New Yorks and those things. However, if you get a meat grinder, you can make awesome ground beef with the rest of that cow, and you can have some fun with it, because you can get that fat in there, and then you can start doing things like adding, bacon, or making your own sausages with it and smoking
or
it.
grinding up the heart in with it.
Yeah, grinding up the
Right.
organs. Yeah,
Organs, yeah.
and then that gets it gets a little more feasible. So, but you kind of have to do the math when you're doing that, and figure out how many pounds of ribeye, how many pounds of New York is going to come out of there, and then figure out, is it worth all that trouble for what you're paying per pound for the rest of the cow? And
Right.
so that's where it's really where you really kind of have to do the math. And for me, it's just not, to be honest with you, it's just not worth it. I just I mean, you can get such good meat on sale, but
Yeah.
I'll just
And
add
the
to,
rancher near me let us do a quarter cow. So if you really do want to try it, and maybe an option that is less. But I agree, you don't necessarily get all the cuts you want.
right. If you're going to do it, I would just encourage you to don't be shy and try to talk to the rancher or farmer. Everyone I've ever talked to, they're incredible. I've mentioned before, my neighbor's a 6th generation farmer. He's like, come on over, shake my hand, meet me. He'll give you a whole tour of his farm and everything, so you know exactly what you're getting into. Marcos, who runs Independence Arc as well, he's very proud of all the work he's doing, and he'll talk to you. Like, one thing with my neighbor that I thought was interesting, I'm like, are these grass-fed, grass-finished? Because I know that that's better. And he's like, they're grass-fed, grass-finished, but then at the very end, we do give them a little bit of grain. And I'm like, oh, no. But then he explained to me the grain is grain that they grow, and there isn't any toxic glyphosate or garbage on it. And they just do it at the very end. So there's all these little nuances and things. But these guys are incredible. These farmers. So don't feel shy about talking to them. I used to be so weird about talking to people. The other advice I give people too is if you go to Costco and they have that little glass by the meat area, you can knock on that thing and talk to those guys. So I say, you could be like, I need a 10-pound rib roast. They'll be like, sure, let me help you out. They're usually bored back there. They're happy to talk to you. You can get a whole chuck roll. You just knock on the window. You can ask them anything. So don't be afraid to open your mouth up and talk and ask some questions. All right, so we're going to be giving away a Healing Humanity shirt in just a couple minutes. So hashtag ribeye, hashtag ribeye for the Healing Humanity shirt in the lower 48. All right, the next question we have is from Paul Hill. Paul says, who is the person who surprised you that they were carnivore? I had a bunch of surprises. My younger sister was carnivore for like a year and she didn't tell me. And she was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to stick to it. And she probably knew like how crazy I am about carnivore and I talk about it all the time. She didn't want to hear about it from me. So that was kind of a surprise. My daughter, Emma, doing carnivore after being vegan for 5 years. That was a huge shocker because she decided to do that all on her own. My wife doing it as well was kind of a surprise because she tried it earlier and it didn't work out. And I never thought she'd try it again. So I've been surprised a few times. Have you guys been surprised by anyone?
That waitress in Texas.
Waitress. That's what I was
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
say.
That's funny. My mom was a surprise to me because she had to ask the 100 questions when I told her what I was doing to start out with, and she thought I was crazy at first. And then, about 3 months in to my results and my brother's results, I mean, she's also the type who loves to host and all the recipes and cook for everybody like that. That's just her thing. And so she still struggles with not doing that as much, but I was really shocked that she was willing to give it a go. That, she put a lot of those passions and enjoyment that she gets out of hosting for people and recipes aside so she could eat carnivore. And she's doing great.
Nice. Good stuff. Okay, Andrea has a question about dry fasting. I'd like to attempt a dry fast. All the videos say to drink and eat lots of fruit prior. I don't eat those, so is there any downside to just going straight from carnivore into a dry fast?
That's interesting. I just finished reading that book, and I didn't see anywhere in the book where it said to eat a bunch of fruits. It basically said to front load with electrolytes. But yeah, did you read that in there, Kerry?
I don't remember reading that, no. And I went straight from carnivore and I haven't had any fruit in like 600 days. So I went straight from carnivore into the dry fast and I've done multiple wet fasts. I did an 8-day, I did a 5-day, I did a 3-day. And I thought I would struggle with the dry fast, but it was one of the easiest fasting experiences I had. I'm not going out. I'm not like issuing a challenge for everyone to do dry fasting, but if you're interested in it, I always recommend this book because it's really covers everything. This is by
What's the name
August
of the
Dunning.
book?
The Phoenix Protocol by August Dunning. Really, really interesting stuff if you want to learn more. There's been thousands and thousands of people. I think in Russia, there was a couple doctors that did this with thousands of people doing dry fasts, and the healing that they were seeing and documenting under a clinical setting was really pretty incredible. Yeah. I think, Todd, you've done some dry fasts too, right?
Yeah, I did 53 days of dry fasting in 2024, and I never had a piece of fruit. I did mostly lying when I was doing them. So, yeah, I didn't have to load up. I didn't take electrolytes or anything. It's just, your body just pulls electrolytes out of your fat cells. It's pretty amazing.
Now, it does say, I think after like post fast, it recommends 7 days. And then like the third day after you start kickstarting your digestive system again, it does mention that you can at that point start introducing maybe some fruit, but it really recommends overall to not reintroduce any carbohydrates whatsoever. So it's not a strictly like carnivore book or anything like that, but the whole process is overall, it's, zero, you're not eating or drinking anything.
Right. Our friend Lauren Tucker, she's the one that told me about this book, and she just completed a 7-day dry fast. And she actually contacted the author of this book, August Dunning, because she was asking him, like, are there different things I need to worry about doing carnivore? And I think the main thing was just refeeding after an extended 7-day fast and being very careful about not eating too quickly. And I believe she did a lot of bone broth and really eased back into eating again. She's going to be doing a video. She's coming on my channel next week. We're going to be doing a video talking a little bit about her fast and her experience doing that. Stephanie Smith, we're going to be doing a drawing in just a minute for the t-shirt, Healing Humanity, #ribeye. Stephanie asks, does it stress our system if we stay in ketosis all the time and never come out of it?
No, I believe that ketosis is our natural state. We were born in ketosis and probably should always have stayed in ketosis. So I have not heard anything negative about staying in ketosis. Lynn?
I haven't either, although I did. I know it's not going to hurt you to go in and out of ketosis, and a lot of people do. It's going to be worse to stay out of ketosis. It's better to be in it than out of it, but it's not. I wouldn't be too worried if you're going in and out of it.
All right. Question from Solar Dare. Any advice for managing severe OCD, intrusive thoughts on carnivore? And have you seen, heard, or read about any success stories? If so, what foods would you recommend?
I'd
Dr.
be wondering
Georgia
if it's
Eid. Okay.
Yeah, I was just saying I would be wondering if it's oxalate dumping that's going on. And of course, we need to know how long have you been carnivore, but typically, you are going to see improvement, but if you are having these severe symptoms, my first thought would be, could it be oxalate dumping? And if that was the case, I would say to try drinking some green tea, and which has some oxalates, and see if that helps. If it is, that just could be a test to confirm whether or not it's oxalates. That would be a first thing to do, and just to try it and see what happens.
I agree. I'd wonder how long you've been carnivore, because it took about a month for my OCD to start reversing once I became a carnivore. Now if I don't eat enough fat, I get a little bit of OCD tendencies coming back, but for the most part, as long as I keep my fat content high, I don't have OCD problems anymore. But it took a little bit of time to get that to start reversing.
Right. I was just going to say, in terms of reading and success stories, Dr. Georgia Eid's book, Change Your Diet, Change Your Mind, covers a lot. Really, really good book. I'd recommend reading for that. Chewy Chicken said, what salt shaker isn't portable? Well,
I started
this
that
one,
because I thought it was funny.
right? This one fits on a keychain. Remember those old ones I used to have, the big salt shaker that's like this big? I wouldn't want to have that on my keychain. So that one, that's your answer. Those big ones.
But technically none.
Right.
I don't know. That Malden bucket I got in my kitchen's not very,
Yeah,
not
that's
very
true.
handy.
Could you hook that
I
on your belt or something? Have a little holster.
Depends on how
for it?
dedicated you are to having your salt with you.
Right? I don't like to leave home
Right.
without the Maldens. Awesome. All
That's
right.
funny.
I'm losing track of time here. Should we do the drawing now, or am I too early?
Do the drawing. Yeah.
All right. #ribeye. Wow, we got 85 entries. We're going to be giving away a shirt, Healing Humanity t-shirt.
All right.
The winner of the Healing Humanity t-shirt is Beth.
Oh, she already won.
Beth, what did Beth win a shirt earlier, or was it something else?
She already won. Yes, we're gonna have to redo.
We're gonna redo. Okay.
Yep.
Can I redo? Oh yeah, here we go. Draw again.
Okay.
Beth is extra lucky.
She's very lucky.
Miss Hooligan Fish.
All right.
Congratulations, Miss Hooligan Fish. We
Hooligan
met Miss
Fish.
Hooligan Fish out in Arizona meetup. Congratulations. Where can Miss Hooligan Fish claim their t-shirt in the lower 48?
Well, Kerry, Mrs. Hooligan Fish can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway and enter your details on the form, and we will get your prize to you ASAP. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Awesome. All right, we got more. We're going to do another one. If anyone's got a run too, by the way, feel free. No worries. We got a couple more questions. I'm going to stand a little bit longer here. Real quick, want to announce one last time. Independence Arc Farm, $225 value. Just go in the description. Make sure you subscribe to everyone you see here on the screen. Takes about 30 seconds. And then sign up for our email newsletter. And we're going to be doing that drawing the last Thursday of January, which is coming up very soon. You could win a big box of Independence Arc beef. And the next prize we're going to give away is a 30-day membership to Healing Humanity Life. So get in the chat and post #life with your question, with your comment, anything you want to say. #life. We're going to randomly pick a winner. Next question we have is question for Adam from Pat Ramirez. What do you eat on a daily basis?
Oh, wow. This would be super simple. So I eat about 10 to 12 eggs every single day around noon, cooked in smoked tallow. And then I eat between 1 pound and 2 pounds of beef for dinner at roughly 5 o'clock. So it's either ground beef. Sometimes I'll put raw egg yolk in it, cooked ground beef, or I'll have hamburger patties, or a ribeye or New York strip or whatever I got on hand, chuck roast that's sous vide cooked or whatever. Pretty simple.
Awesome. Jets Afterburner podcast. Hi, Kerry. Huge fan. Would love to have you on the podcast to change the lives of so many NFL fans hitting the off season. We just had Dante Ferrigno. God bless all. Well, that's awesome. I'd love to. Shoot me an email, homesteadhow@gmail.com. Homesteadhow@gmail.com. Although I'm not as big of a football fan as Dante Ferrigno is, I will do my best. Packers didn't do very well this postseason. Simply Social, please post a link to a membership course. Well, the link is healinghumanity.life. And then once you're a member there's a courses link at the top of the page you can click on. And the Carnivore Foundations course we mentioned earlier is there, along with many other courses that you'll have access to as a member. So
all the courses are free.
Yeah, all the courses are free if you're a member. Healinghumanity.life is in the description with the promo code, so you can get 50% off if you're not already a member.
And that promo code is scrolling at the bottom.
LifeJ50. Rain Dancer asks, I go every day, usually not solid, but have a coffee habit. I use creamer that has minimal carbs. Don't think I'm eating too much fat. I'm taking potassium for the issue.
So I'm assuming going every day means having a bowel movement.
Probably, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So usually not solid. So, I mean, coffee is a bowel stimulant. So some people find that to be a good thing, and other people find that to be not a good thing.
Yep.
So if you don't think you're eating too much fat and you're having a loose bowel movement every day, then you may need to cut back on the coffee and the creamer. I don't know. Any thoughts on that, Renee?
I would also just add on
also.
there, we don't know how long she's been carnivore. So, I mean, if this is new and starting out, that's not unusual, right? Like there's a period of time where it can even be explosive for a little while your body's going through a bit of that transformation. So I don't know how long you've been carnivore. You've been carnivore for a while, then yeah, that would be a different story. But if it's new carnivore, expect there's some adjustments you got to make there with your body.
Right, as you become fat adapted. I had this problem for months going into carnivore and ended up having to take a lipase supplement to stop it. But one thing I did realize was I had to back off my magnesium I was taking because the magnesium was causing problems. So, there's other things that you could be taking that you're not even realizing are causing the problem too. So I take a look at everything. I drink coffee and it doesn't bother my bowels at all. And there's nothing that's going to make me give up my coffee. I knock on wood because one day I may, but not right now. But it could be something else you're taking as well.
Good stuff. Brian Lopez, I need an accountability partner. I want a fasting partner, please. I am sick in the colon.
I did respond to him a little while ago. He was looking for different communities and stuff. So I did post a link in the chat for him if he decides to join up with us. But there's other groups out there as well that you can join. And I'm sure you could probably link up with somebody in the chat that is wanting to actually do a fast right now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Question: I have been sick since going carnivore 2 months ago, feeling worse every day. Got blood work yesterday. My kidney and liver tests were through the roof. What should I do? Try keto?
I think you should try to get into Healing Humanity Community and talk to Dr. Nelson or one of the doctors is to get better information on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with that sort of situation, it really requires a more thorough assessment of what you're specifically doing and your overall health. And so it's really difficult to, we have unexpected results different than what other people are. You really have to just be able to give us lots and lots of information we don't have, because technically you should not be, after 2 months in, you should not be feeling worse every day. I can share with you, depending on your health situation, of course, with me, I'm always preaching histamine. So you might want to look at histamine. You might want to look at specifically what carnivore foods are you doing. You might need to go to a lion diet if you're not doing a lion diet already. And then the kidney and liver test, I mean, obviously there's something your body's not happy with. So I would definitely agree with what was said. You need to get connected with one of the carnivore doctors, and they're so awesome and willing to help.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. And maybe a solution would be as well. We had Dr. Baker on last night, but sometimes it's hard to get onto like a live stream or connect with these folks. Dr. Baker's got Rivero going now. That could be a good solution. We get so many questions from people. How can I find a good keto carnivore doc? If you're in Chicago, I think Dr. Hampton is taking new patients. That'd be like winning the lottery if you were able to get Dr. Hampton as a doctor. But that might be an option too, something like Rivero. But I totally agree with what these guys are saying. It definitely need more information for sure.
Yeah. And I'd be curious to know with kidney and liver tests, what the definition is of through the roof. If they're like, is this something that your doctor said, okay, this is a acute situation going on? Because when I hear through the roof, I'm thinking of you've got an acute inflammatory process going on. So it's not uncommon at the beginning to have like higher levels of creatinine with your kidneys when you first start having more protein. And so that tends to self-correct. Your GFR could end up going down as well when your kidneys are not used to processing as much of the types of nutrients that you have in the protein. And that also tends to self-correct over time. So we would have to absolutely kind of drill down to what specifically that means.
And then you got a super chat too.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Timothy said, what would a high calcium score be with the carnivore diet? Would a high calcium score be with the carnivore diet?
Probably need some clarification on what you actually are referring to there, Timothy.
Yeah.
Well, is it blood calcium or is it coronary artery calcium?
Right. Let us know in the chat, Timothy, if you can provide some more info.
Yeah. Yeah. Coronary artery calcium scores, a lot of people are reporting them going down. And if it's blood calcium, if your kidneys are working fine, it should be okay.
Susan with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Do any of you walk daily? I felt the best trying to get 7,000 steps and need to start again.
I try.
Yeah. I try also.
I don't. I should more. I mean, movement is good, right? I mean, you've got to, movement is definitely good. And so if you're to that stage where you've experienced some healing and you can actually get out there and move, it's great. I prefer, because time wise, I prefer to get it in. I've been following a little bit of the sprinting ideas and trying to do something that's a little quicker for me, but a good walk after you eat a meal is always recommended, and great to get outdoors, get in the sunshine. Absolutely. All good things.
Yeah.
If you're brand new though, go ahead.
Oh, no worries. I was just saying that good retired Dr. Phil Smith there just started doing 7K a day because he's reversing some plaquing. He's got a heart issue. He's trying to reverse. So he's doing 7K a day. So we jumped on the bandwagon with him, and I'm basically at the first of next month. When I jumped on the bandwagon with him to do it, I was ego lifting and kind of hurt my left knee. So I'm giving it
Oh,
a couple
no.
of days for the swelling to go down, and then I'm hopping on the 7K a day train with him. So
Awesome. And I was just saying, if you're new, I wouldn't try to do 7K a day if you haven't been doing it for a while, because when you're first getting transitioned onto the carnivore diet, you really need to rest and let your body adapt. So I don't know how long you've been on the carnivore diet, but I would just be careful if you're not fully adapted over to it yet. Don't push yourself. Just some gentle walking is better. You need, give your body a chance to adapt first.
All right. Question for Adam next. But first, what are we doing? We're giving away a 30-day membership to
What are
Healing
we
Humanity
doing?
Life, right? Couldn't remember. Sure, your life.
Carnivore
steering this ship.
and remember.
Hashtag life. Hashtag life. Right now, we got to get a couple more questions and comments in before we do the drawing so you can win a 30-day membership to healinghumanity.life. All right. The next question was for Adam, and the question is, hey, Adam, what radio station did you work for?
That
Give it
would
to us in
be
your radio station voice.
CARN Carnivore in Cincinnati, I guess.
Nice. Question for Lynn. What is physiological insulin resistance?
I haven't heard that term for specifically, and maybe Renee have you in your course, have you heard the term physiological insulin resistance?
No, if I
I
can tell you
know-
what insulin resistance is, but physiological,
Right.
I mean, I don't know what it's referring to exactly.
I know that insulin resistance is not just a one size fits all thing, and different parts of your body have different levels of insulin resistance. There are parts of your body that don't have any insulin resistance necessarily, and other parts can be more insulin resistant than the other. And what it basically means is that your cells aren't utilizing insulin, and so it's something that happens. It's kind of a pre-diabetic situation. It can happen. You can be insulin resistant from everything I've read about, the ketogenic textbook is like 15 years before you become diabetic. And so I definitely would be curious to know if that's something specific or if that just is insulin resistant. But the thing basically it's a result of having excessive sugar carbohydrates. Your body just stops responding like it should and utilizing insulin like it should. It's just a long-term persistent high insulin state, and your cells stop doing what they're supposed to do. And you can reverse that by staying away from the carbohydrates.
All right. Mike Wolf, can you recommend a vitamin D supplement without cholesterol? Probably saying that wrong. You got some tricky questions coming through here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that one.
I don't even know if mine has that in it.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
That
know.
would be a good question for one of the doctors.
Yeah.
I have to do some more research.
I wonder what Dr. Nelson would say to that one.
Cholesterol.
All
Yes,
right.
it's Dr.
Leslie said, thank you for helping inspire me to survive past my cravings and become carnivore eating fat. Fat was a no-no all my life. That was a no-no all my life. Awesome. Congratulations,
Yes.
Leslie.
Yeah, you have a super sticker, but I don't. There you go.
There we go. FX Traders, $2 super sticker. Oh, and he had a question here afterwards. So thank you, FX Trader. And your question was, anybody eat bison meat?
Yeah, it's tasty. Just
Yeah,
gotta add
I've had it. Pretty good.
I would love to have more. I've had it every now and then, but just don't have a lot of access to it. But it sounds like a few of us have.
They do make beefalo.
Beefalo.
Right?
Yeah, they do make beefalo. It's actually pretty tasty.
Yeah.
Jude said, I missed the part about freezing something and taking it as a pill. I think it was Adam.
Oh yeah, that's basically just get beef suet or beef fat trimmings, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you keep it raw. Cut it up into small chunks, whatever you want to, whatever size works for you as far as swallowing it whole. Throw it in the freezer and just pop those in like pills. A lot of times I'll do that if I'm eating like a sirloin or, some kind of steak or beef that doesn't have a lot of fat in it. I'll just make sure that I eat a few of those while I'm actually eating the lean meat.
All right.
Would go well with buffalo.
There you go.
Has anyone had any results from rashes or eczema?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
eczema went away. I've been a nurse for over 20 years, and my dermatologist told me to give up nursing before I even finished nursing school because of my bad eczema from washing my hands all the time. And it's gone, completely gone.
My rosacea was horrific, and it is gone.
All right. Alpine Logistics, where can I find studies on Crohn's and the benefits of a low or no carb lifestyle?
So Zofia Clemens has actual clinical trials on Crohn's disease. That's it. Paleomedica is her website, I think. Look up Zofia. It's ZSOFIA Clemens. She has done specific studies on Crohn's disease, and she her diet is not called carnivore, but she definitely says it is a meat high fat diet that she uses for her studies. So that would be my recommendation.
Nice. I would just add, this isn't a study per se, but Dr. Chafee, I think he's done a lot of work in this area, and he's got a couple podcasts on Crohn's. I think I remember him saying he's never worked with someone that had Crohn's where it didn't improve on carnivore, which is kind of a remarkable statement. But he's got a couple, if you Google Dr. Chafee, Crohn's, carnivore, a couple podcasts on that. LaDonna says, question, yesterday I told my psychiatrist that I wanted to come off meds soon because I'm now carnivore and feeling so good. She was excited to hear about it and asked for some more information. Imagine that.
Yay.
Congratulations.
That's
Son.
awesome.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
You have a super chat as well.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's
All
so
right.
cool.
We got a super sticker from Lorenzo. Thank you so much. $2 goes right to the documentary. And Michelle McDermott, 9 months strict carnivore, lost tons of hair in August, and as of today, no regrowth. Help, increased fat and protein.
Yeah, it's usually what we see every time is a way under eating. That's a big thing. Yeah, because we don't realize how easy it is to undereat when we go carnivore, because we start getting, first of all, meat's so satiating, and then we start also getting our signaling back, and we're not, we're so used to undereating without the help of leptin. When we get a little bit of leptin back up, makes it really easy to undereat, and we're not eating hyperpalatable foods anymore. So, and we always lean into that, but including myself, my hair didn't grow back until I actually started eating on purpose to open up my appetite and get my metabolism out of the toilet, and then the hair started coming back. And I see that a lot with people in carnivore. How about you guys?
Yeah, that's about the same amount of time it was when I had a massive shedding of hair, and it's very stressful. It's stressing, and I started taking some like desiccated organs just to kind of give myself a little extra. But I agree with Todd. It's a stress response from the body. The body is feeling the stress of, for me, it was just the weight loss. I had lost a lot of weight and I was not eating enough. And it's growing back.
Susan asked, I asked a while ago, but are you still trying to be on Joe Rogan? A blessing you interviewed Tammy Peterson too. Yeah, we're always trying. We're always trying to be on Joe Rogan, always and forever. It would be a huge blessing to be on Joe Rogan. I think Joe would be very interested to hear some of these incredible stories of healing. He's talked passionately about carnivore, but usually in the context of weight loss. I don't know if he realizes the full potential in terms of people with major depression or Parkinson's reversal or some of these crazy autoimmune disorders, things like Renee's gone through. So yeah, 100%. Adam and I were talking about that the other day. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when, right, Adam?
Absolutely.
Yeah. He already has us on the books. He just doesn't know it.
Right.
There you go. You have a super chat too.
Awesome. Thank
Hey,
you.
Carrie, on
Yeah.
the vitamin D, so I'm looking at my vitamin D, and it actually says that the vitamin D is the chlorocalciferol. I mean, that is what the vitamin D is. So I
Oh,
don't know that you could take vitamin D without it being that, because that's the other name for vitamin D.
right. Oh, interesting.
So learn something new.
Yeah.
Which is a good. I'm glad you checked that, because a lot of times you look at the back of the ingredients and you don't have any idea what it is. So you're like, well, that probably shouldn't be in there, right? So it is very confusing. I'm glad you clarified that.
Right. Lorenzo, $5 super chat. Want to know, can you reverse artery calcium? And how long till high blood pressure drops? WB artery spasms, will those go away? Just started the diet. So
Do you have any
The
experience with
answer-
that, Ashley? Yours is plaque, right?
Mine was some plaque. Yeah, I was super excited to get results. I did a scan that showed some plaque buildup in my heart. Very minor, not a lot, but it was something to be concerned about. That was in 2021. In my last scan, it was completely gone. But that's different than artery calcium. So,
Yeah,
but I've also heard that just about, I mean, I strongly believe it can be healed. But go ahead, Todd.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Dr. Phil Smith just did a video of Bella about a week ago. That's really good because Dr. Phil has some calcium buildup, which is a real issue that he's tackling with carnivore and statins, believe it or not. So it's kind of controversial, but he talks about the importance of using statins to reduce the calcium buildup and the blockage. And that's also why he's doing 7,000 steps. And so he did a fantastic
Do we lose Todd?
They've lost him.
I think we lost Todd.
I think he was saying it was a fantastic video, and I agree. I watched it, and it was really good. Dr. Phil had a lot to say about it, and put it all out there.
So that's Dr. Phil on Bella's channel.
Yes.
Awesome. So maybe go check that out, Lorenzo. Some of your other questions, how long till blood pressure drops? Some of these questions are really hard to answer. Everyone's different. I reversed a lot of heart issues, like I mentioned, but everyone's different, depends on where you're starting from, sort of thing. The only thing I can say is if you were my brother or my father and you were having these issues, I would be advising the same thing. Do a strict carnivore diet, eliminate the inflammation, exercise when you can, sort of thing.
And
Sorry.
don't just stop your blood pressure medication if you're on
Yeah.
pressure medication. Work with your doctor. You may need to be monitoring your blood pressure a little more regularly if you don't, and just kind of keep an eye on it. But don't just stop taking it. But you also need to know that if you are taking hypertensive medication, it can go too low. So be aware of the symptoms of hypotension and keep an eye on it.
All right. Okay. Let's see here. Where do we leave off? Next question is. No, we read that one already. Here we go. Todd, can you explain why you used amino acids when fasting?
Yeah, we were so Coach Raymond Naza was testing amino acid therapy, and basically the idea behind it was when you're new at starting carnivore and maybe your gut microbiome is not in the best shape, and it has a hard time breaking down nutrients into amino acids, especially branched chain amino acids, because that's a fairly a fairly intensive process for your body to do. They do something called amino acid therapy that can kind of be a bridge to get your gut microbiome a little bit healthier and also just kind of heal the body. So we were playing around with that. So I didn't just take a little bit. I took a lot. The whole purpose was to try to almost overdose on amino acids. So I was taking like $1,200 a month in amino acids, taking them down for a couple months until I did get the overdose symptoms of a headache and a little bit lightheaded. and it really did work, and it moved a whole bunch of lymphatic fluid, and it healed a lot of my lymphatic system up on my legs. And also during that time, I went from digesting, like if I would eat, say, 3 pounds of steak in a meal, really packing it in there would take like 7 hours for it to feel like it completely had digested out of my stomach. And when I was doing that amino acid therapy, it got it down to about 3.5 hours. It would digest it in, and then it opened up my appetite. And that is one of the kind of windows that really helped my appetite open up and really helped me start to heal. So it was just look up amino acid therapy. So there's a few ketogenic doctors that talk about amino acid therapy and the benefits of it.
All right, good stuff. So we're going to be doing another drawing here shortly for 30-day free membership to healinghumanity.life. Just use hashtag life. Hashtag life. What Caleb's Carnivore Quest used hashtag life and said, Kerry, your videos are so awesome, and they gave me the hope to get through my first 30 days. Thank you, Kerry. Oh, that's awesome,
Sweet.
Caleb. Congratulations on
Good
your
job,
first
Kerry.
30 days.
That's awesome.
Good
That
job.
reminds me too. Caleb said 53 days of dry fasting all at once, and no, it wasn't at once. So don't try that, Caleb. No.
I don't think you'd be here right now.
I don't think so either.
Alpine Logistics asked, where can I pick up smoked tallow?
You can make it yourself, but I'm not sure of anyone that actually sells it online. There might be. You just take beef fat, suet or beef fat trimmings, put it in a pot and put it on your smoker and let it run for however long to render, and put it in a jar. You're good to go.
All right. Hello, tallow. I don't get any sun due to working the night shift. What can I do?
Got to check your vitamin D levels, and probably are going to need to sell it to supplement.
Absolutely. Carrie Duffy, what do you eat when you are sick with the flu? My comfort foods when I'm sick are not carnivore. Bone
I
broth.
just had the flu and I fasted. I didn't eat. And it was what my body wanted. And I got over it in 24 hours, less than 24 hours. I was sick. So I'd say that's a great time to fast.
Broth is good. Yeah, and I agree. Comfort foods when you're sick are often not healthy foods, and that's just going to delay healing and recovery, especially if there's sugar. Bugs love sugar.
For sure. And when you're not carnivore, you think it's being sick of being a 2 or 3 or 5 day thing. And on carnivore, it's not. It's like a 6 hour thing. It's to a day tops. You fast, get some good sleep, and you'll wake up new. It'll be gone.
I haven't been sick since being carnivore, so I don't have experience with that yet.
Well, you probably have. You just didn't know it, because
maybe that's true too.
Right.
Yeah, that's what's so funny about it, is because I'll wake up and I'll feel like this just literally happened. I'm like, feel a little achy today. I wonder if something had seed oil in it. And then all of a sudden, everybody around me starts dropping like flies, and they all have the flu. I'm like, oh, that's what that was.
Nice. Moto Mofo, how do you know how much to eat? I'm 6'3", 250 pounds, almost 58 years old. I eat one meal a day, either 1.2 pounds, 80-20 ground beef, or a 1 pound steak.
Wow, that sounds like not enough from just, on the surface there. But what do you think, Todd?
Yeah, that's lightweight, sir. So I would say for your size, at least 2.5 pounds, 3 pounds of meat a day on average. And man, for healing, I mean, you could be eating up, a minimum of like 2 pounds of meat. But yeah, I mean, when I was healing, I was eating anywhere from, like on average, probably 3.5 to 4 pounds of beef a day, and I'm still right in the 3 pound range. To when I'm priming and healing, it's like 7 pounds. I even went through a stage where I was eating like 9 pounds of picanha. I about had to refinance my home, pay for my picanha habit. It was
kind of an extreme case.
I'm a bigger dude, but yeah.
But I think the point you're making too is like it's amazing when we have this concept of you have to cut all the calories, cut all that because that's what we've been taught. But your body needs to know it's got enough nutrition to then go into a healing phase. So eating more actually will help you lose weight faster a lot of times because
It
your
does.
body then can go into its normal process of taking care of the fat.
Right. When I fell into the OMADs, I stalled and I couldn't get it to move, and it just crashed my metabolism. When I was eating 7 pounds of meat a day, that's when my body was burning fat and healing at the same time. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jude is asking, thank you for the Q&A, all of you, asking about the frozen beef fat again. Could I do that with beef liver cut into small pieces, freeze it, and then take it like a pill?
For sure.
I would say yes. Good idea.
Yes.
All right. We got one more question here, and then we're going to do the big drawing.
Another frozen liver.
Yeah, lots of liver questions. I've eaten frozen liver for 3 days. The 4th day, I got bad stomach flu symptoms. Is it bad liver or just bad luck getting a stomach flu?
I mean, I've heard you can eat too much liver, right? So like it's very nutrient dense, and so you do want to be careful how much liver you're eating, especially if that's all you're eating, which I don't. Hopefully that's not the case there, but yeah, be careful about eating just straight liver. I've heard can be some very bad results from that. Lynn probably knows the more medical response on that, but
most people say
That
that
was
you
good.
yeah, most people say that you only need a couple ounces a week, you know.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, you got to be careful not to eat too much of it.
Awesome. Good stuff. Great questions. All right, we're going to do the big drawing now, and this is for 30-day membership to healinghumanity.life. And if you already have a membership, just reach out to us and let us know. Share my screen. Here we go. Drum roll. The winner is Beatrice Williams. Congratulations. Adam, where can Beatrice Williams claim her prize?
Well, Kerry, Beatrice can go to healinghumanity.movie/giveaway and enter your details on the form, and we will get you your code to join healinghumanity.life free for 1 month right away. Congratulations.
Congratulations,
Yay.
Beatrice. Thank you all so much for all of your questions, and thank you for all of our awesome speakers here tonight. Make sure you've gone and subscribed to Adam at Carnivore Today, Ashley at Carnivore Brothers, Todd at The Carnivore Cure, Lynn at Midlife Carnivore, and Renee at Eating Meat to Walk. There is a link in the description below, so it's super easy to do that. And one last prize. I got to shout them out again. $225 beef bundle. If you want to win it, there is a link in the description for the newsletter. All you got to do is sign up for the newsletter, and we're going to do that drawing at the last Thursday of the month. Anyone else have anything they want to mention or shout out before we wrap up?
Probably just one more reminder, if you're in the Tampa area or you can make it, the tickets will probably sell out pretty quickly. So I would jump online quickly, get those tickets set for the Tampa, Florida meetup by Dr. Kiltz. Yes, there it is.
Yep. And just a note, there are VIP tickets also, and there's very limited seating with that, or very limited tickets, but some of the VIP tickets are actually dinner at Dr. Kiltz's house the night before the meetup. So just another option for everybody if they want to hang out with us.
Yeah, huge shout out to Dr. Kiltz for putting this all together. He's been an incredible supporter. If you guys want to learn more or get one of those tickets before they run out, it's kiltzmeetup.com. KILTZ meetup.com. MEATUP.com. All right. Thank you guys so much. Thanks for everyone for all the great questions, and thanks to everyone here for answering the questions, and we'll see you guys on the next one. We're doing these every Thursday. We're going to do that big drawing soon, so hopefully you guys come back on the next Thursday. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye for
Good
now.
night.
Bye.
Beep.
Beep. Beep.